Floods devastate China's Yangtze Basin as army mobilizes massive relief effort. August 21, 2020 at 6:29 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. The waters around Chongqing, a city where the Jialing River meets the arcing Yangtze, always rise with the summer rains. But never like this. As China enters a third month of devastating flooding, it is grappling with catastrophic damage that has spread from the central provinces to the upper Yangtze, a region that includes Chongqing, a city of 30 million, and Sichuan province, in the high-altitude southwest. So far, 63 million people have been affected and 15 million acres of farmland destroyed, an area the size of West Virginia. In official statements, the government has placed the floods on the same level as the coronavirus pandemic when describing shocks to China this year. Earlier this week, the central broadcaster showed China's top two leaders, President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang, arriving from Beijing to inspect preparations and issue instructions ahead of a potential sixth wave of flooding that officials in Chongqing warn could strike in September if rainfall does not relent. The Chinese military has mobilized 1.2 million troops across 17 provinces to evacuate about 170,000 residents and reinforce embankments and roads, according to state media. On Thursday, Yangtze water levels in Chongqing hit a record, as did the flood peak at the Gorges Dam, where dam operators pledged to stand on wartime footing. This flood battle is a practical test of the leadership and command system of our army, and the army's combat readiness and ability to perform the tasks, Xi, dressed in olive drab, told officers Thursday in Anhui province, which is also suffering heavy losses. In Chongqing, Wang and other residents said much of Xichiko was still underwater on Friday, and there was no electricity throughout the neighborhood. Wang said he couldn't wade back to his cafe to check its condition. Down the street, the owner of the Wangjonglo restaurant, which typically boasts of its location overlooking the Jialing River, said the first floor of his eatery was still 5 feet underwater. The restaurant owner, who spoke by telephone on the condition of anonymity, said he didn't bother to save his restaurant. It's pointless to move things outdoors, he fumed. The street is flooded, too. Zhang Faxing, a hydrologist at Sichuan University, said Sichuan is used to summer floods but it's highly unusual to see a disaster of this scale, and this level of rainfall well into August. We should stay on alert for further flooding in upper and middle reaches of the Yangtze until mid-September, Zhang said. Extreme weather means more uncertainty for all those who live along major rivers in the south, but the possibility of more heavy rains in China's inland areas remains quite small. For China, the story of battling yearly floods is the story of the nation itself. King Yu, according to the Chinese origin myth, overcame a great flood 4,000 years ago to found the first prehistoric dynasty. But government officials have warned that increasingly extreme weather and flooding are worsening with climate change. In 2015, a joint report by several Chinese ministries said the country was particularly vulnerable to drought, flooding and sea level rise. A number of Chinese papers, including the latest annual report by the China Meteorological Administration, have noted an increase in the frequency of extreme rainfall in the past 60 years.